Scott.
Because Arizona and Cleveland, one is an accident, two is a trend. Those losses were horrible. What don't we have? What do we have? And let's go with it. You got the Steelers. You better be on top for tonight. Back to the Jets hosting the Packers. It was the Wednesday before the start of the season. It began as an offensive team meeting, but it ended with a lot different than just X's and O's. LaDanian Tomlinson stood in front of his teammates, his new teammates, to share some powerful words from the legendary Green Bay coach Vince Lombardi. As Greg Garber reports, though, Lombardi passed away 40 years ago. His spirit lives on through LT.
Whenever I get ready for a season, start back training, that's what I look at the most, what it takes to be #1, Vince Lombardi.
Winning is not a sometime thing, it's an all-the-time thing. You don't win once in a while, and you don't do things right once in a while. You do them right all the time. Winning is a habit.
It was all about discipline for his players, for his coaches, doing things the right way all the time.
You gotta play with your heart, with every ounce of fiber in your body.
His philosophy was so strong that he motivated men. That's what he did.
I've never known a man worth the salt who deep down in his heart didn't appreciate the grind, the discipline.
This year, before the Week 1 opener, LaDanian Tomlinson stood before his offensive teammates to share verses from Vince Lombardi's famous speech, What It Takes to Be #1.
It was real quiet. I'm just talking about almost eerie quiet.
Everybody got out their pens and papers like, all right, what's this guy saying? Because this is serious.
It was so passionate and everything that I also had him go down and I've said, hey, let's go down the hallway. I want you to talk to your defensive teammates as well.
He didn't just read it. He almost acted it out.
I saw a number of guys, a handful of guys that kind of, maybe we didn't have tears in their eyes, but you could see that they were fighting back emotion.
For somebody who wants to be great, you must first study greatness.
It is and always has been an American seal, and that's to be first, regardless of what we do.
LT delivering it to me meant something.
And to win, and to win, and to win.
Even though Tomlinson owns a handful of NFL records and won the league's MVP in 2006, he says as a first-year Jet, he wrestled with the decision to address his teammates.
I felt like maybe it's not my place right now to, say something to the guys. I'm new to the team, and, I just didn't know how guys would accept that.
There's no room for second place. There's only one place, and that's first place. I finished second twice in my time, and I don't ever want to finish second again.
It ain't for the money. It ain't for the fame. It ain't for something to do on the weekends. We're trying to get a ring, and he wants it, and he wants it bad.
People get on us for talking about winning a championship and the things that we want to do here. But for me, if we're going to talk about it, I wanted the guys to kind of know what a guy like Vince Lombardi said about what it takes to be #1.
But I firmly hold that a man's finest hour, the greatest fulfillment to anything he holds dear, is that moment when he has worked his heart out in a good cause and lays exhausted on the field of battle, victorious.
Pretty strong stuff. Thank you, Greg Garber, and thanks to Lombardi impersonator John Pinero. Pretty good. Coach, you played against Vince Lombardi. I mean, who better to talk about it?
I actually played against his teams, which I think were still the greatest teams in the history of the NFL, the Green Bay Packers under Lombardi. I played for him in the Pro Bowl.
His past. Many more scary surprises ahead.
And again, if you're just joining us, happy Halloween. And this is the Green Bay Press-Gazette headline from September 27th, 1992. Brett Favre wants his party on the field. He had taken over for Don Majkowski the week before, and now he was going to start for the Packers. Who knows how that was going to go? Here we are 18 seasons later, Tom. He's never missed a start. Truly amazing.
Boom, it has been an amazing party for Brett Favre. And when you think about his career, we think about the toughness, the John Wayne mentality. We'll think about the Super Bowl that he won over a decade ago. But I think even Brett Favre knows that by the time it all ends and the last time that he takes a step on a football field, at least in part, he's going to be defined by the streak.
If I'm able to play, I want to play the whole game and give us a chance to win. I know it makes for good TV talking about the streak and will it end, or will this be the injury that stops him?
For Brett Favre, to him, not playing is not an option.
I think Brett Favre's going to be idle for a while.
Brett Favre, you play him no matter what.
Unless he cannot literally play or walk around, he's going to play.
For 19 seasons now, 291 consecutive game starts, Brett Favre has never, ever called in sick.
You're going to get bumped around in this business. You're going to get hurt a little bit. But somehow he has found a way to stay in the field and continue just an incredible streak.
A guy like Peyton Manning that doesn't miss a play, he doesn't get hit as much or take the risk that Favre does. And so with Brett, it was kind of always, it's got to end some point. You know, this can't keep going the way he plays the game, and yet it does.
No, Favre's a tough old cat. He's limping very, very gingerly.
This could easily be an injury where I could say, I'm going to slip under the radar, see you later, you know, easy out, you know, and people may think that. I want to play, and I want to help this team win. I mean, I owe that to the guys, I owe that to myself.
I thought I was just doing my job like everybody else does their jobs. I had no influence over it whatsoever.
From 1982 to 1998, when Baltimore Orioles infielder Cal Ripken Jr. played in 2,632 consecutive games, the streak came to define him. For Favre, it's becoming a larger part of his identity.
It's a principle and a philosophy more so than an accomplishment, because it's an approach to what you do.
It symbolizes, you know, commitment, dedication, longevity, integrity, a love or passion.
A.C. Green played in a record 1,192 consecutive games over 15 seasons. The NBA's Ironman.
We remember Brett because he's a hustler, you know, he's a competitor. He's going to throw the bomb. We're going to be there suited up, you know, with one leg. You're going to be out there trying to help your team win.
Brett Favre's one of the toughest guys that ever played a game. I mean, that's why he has the longest consecutive starting streak.
I'm very proud of the streak, but it probably should have ended a long time ago.
This guy got hammered throughout his career, so the streak should have ended a long time ago. I'm with you on that, Brett, but somehow, some way, he always seems to will his way through things.
An injury like this kind of, for him, calms him down. You know, I can't do the crazy things. I've really got to play within the system.
Favre owns many of the NFL's treasured records.
Brett looking, drills the middle. He's got Jennings. Touchdown! The monumental milestone in a legendary career.
It is possible, though, that the streak is the most meaningful record of all.
Don't let him fool you. You know, he's proud of this streak, and he enjoys it as much as anybody that he's been able to do this.
If he can keep going, why not? You know, keep going. I'd like to see him to get to that 300 number.
Mentally, I think I can do it. I've done it before. Will it hurt? I'm sure it will.
Well, thank you, Tommy. The regular season streak, 291 and counting. If he starts at 4:15 today at New England, including the playoffs, 3:15 and counting. Peyton Manning, 198, so pretty impressive in his own right. And the record long since surpassed. Look at young Josh, Coach.
Oh, boy.
Ron Jaworski with the Eagles with 116.
Shows your records don't matter.
Well, stop with it. They do. And now let's go over to Morton, ESPN medical analyst Dr. Michael Kaplan. The streak is one thing. Amazing recovery is another. How about this time in only a week? Can he do it?
All right, Boomer, thanks a lot. Dr. Kaplan, let's get right to it. Take us back to the injury itself and explain what Brett Favre is going through.
Three things more, really. He has first a compression fracture, which means the bones compress some, an avulsion fracture pulled off from the ligament, little piece of bone. Most importantly, post-traumatic arthritis. This ankle's been scoped 3 times, got a lot of injury in there, so there's a whole lot going on to make him sore and swollen.
Well, how do you manage What the pain, the injury, and how's it going to affect his performance?
Well, these doctors have their hands full. They're going to manage it probably by injecting in and around the ankle, which is going to numb him some, may affect his agility and quickness, and then they got to bind it up tight because he's unstable. So they'll put him in a brace, which can affect his mobility some. So you got to worry about his performance in terms of side to side, twisting motion. It's got to have some effect on him in the field.
Now, today, do you think he'll finish this game?
Well, you know, it's hard to bet on Brett Favre. Any other person probably wouldn't finish it, but at some point, nature's going to win. This gladiator's going to go down. If not today, at some point. You can't keep going like this.
Oh. All right, Boomer, you got the word straight from the doctor's mouth.
All right, Dr. Kaplan, thank you very much. Mort, well, look, let's go back to this. We'll see what happens. Is the streak getting in the way of what the Vikings need to do, Chris? What do you think?
I don't think so. I really don't. I think that Brett and the streak is totally separate than any other issue. Going into this game, if Brett wasn't playing bad, I don't think we'd be having this controversy around it. Now, the thing about Brett is football is a gladiator sport. And the last 20 years, Brett is the toughest of all the gladiators. So he does have a lot of pride in this streak. He should. But I don't think it gets in the way today, Tommy.
You don't think that the two fractures, the elbow, the shoulder, the guy that we saw walking off the podium the other day, that getting on the field has nothing to do,
Tommy,
zero to do with the fact that I played 18 straight years, started 191 consecutive games?
I don't think it has that much to do with it, but I think if you had the same injuries, if I had the same injuries, all of us, we would be trying to play just like Brett. So why would we be blaming him when we would be trying to do the same thing?
I'm not blaming him. I'm just trying to clarify as to what the motivation is. Yes, I think he thinks that he's the best player today at quarterback for his team. I think that all great ones think that. I told you they get knocked out. That's the only way they leave the football field. But I think in terms of player performance or injuries, I think this all goes back to the power struggle. I don't